It's a wonderful institution to have in my district, and I've had the opportunity to work with them in a number of respects and to help provide funding for some of their important programs. It's very important that you're here today. Nancy tells me that probably about 80 advocates for this legislation are going to be here today, maneuvering around the halls of the Legislative Office Building. It's a very busy day here in Albany. We have today is not only is it Vision Rehab Day, it's we have gun control advocates here today. You have right to life advocates here today. You have buses coming up from the city in support of rent control and rent regulation. So that's why, just as bad as security might have been for you, it's going to be really a lot worse in about an hour. So you got here at a good time. I am sponsoring this legislation with Senator Craig Johnson in the Senate, Senator Johnson of Nassau County. He's very sorry he can't be here today to address you as well. But it is very important to have this done because 1 million New Yorkers at least have some sort of vision difficulty right now. And that's out of 18 million New Yorkers, at least 1 million have some sort of vision difficulty right now. Some may be minor, some may be up to blindness. But it's so important that the people who help them deal with the difficulties of having vision loss on a day-to-day basis have the qualifications that all of you have to provide the services that these folks desperately need. We don't want to exclude anybody from providing help to New Yorkers. We want to make sure that if somebody calls himself a profession in this area, that they have minimum standards and qualifications in order to be able to help the people that are coming to them. And that's really why you're here, and that's really why I've been a strong advocate for this legislation. The bill in the Assembly has 42 sponsors. We have 150 members of the Assembly. 42 people are on the bill, including 12 members of the Higher Education Committee. And that's where this bill is now. And you may wonder, well, what does this bill have to do with higher education? Well, every bill that has to do with licensing or providing licensure to a new profession or expanding the scope of practice or anything like that goes to the Higher Education Committee because it's the State Department of Education that oversees this area of the law. That's why the bill's in the Higher Education Committee and not the Health Committee or some other committee that would seem to make more sense at first glance. So that's why. So right now, when you're doing today, what the most important thing you can do today is, if you're meeting with someone about this bill today, if they are a sponsor of the bill, if their name is already on the bill, thank them for doing so. Tell them, thank you for supporting your profession. Tell them to advocate for the bill and to thank them for doing so. But if they're not on the bill, ask them to be a sponsor. There are these little yellow and blue forms that we fill out in order to go on a bill. Ask them to fill out one of these forms, have it delivered to my office, and have me submitted to get their name on the bill. Especially those of you who are meeting with members of the Higher Education Committee, because when this bill hopefully comes up for a vote within the next month or two, and the chair is saying, "Oh, I'm not so sure I want to pass it," we can say, "Hey, you have currently 12 members, hopefully by then 16, 18 members of your committee, but not only would vote for the bill, but care about this bill so much that they have their names on the bill." So that's the most important thing you can do today, is at the end of talking about why this bill is important to you, say to the legislators or the staff that you're meeting with, please, we would like your member to put his or her name on the bill and ask them if they're willing to do that. Ask that question. Don't just say, we hope that you put your name on the bill. Ask them directly, will you sponsor this legislation? And if they say yes, make sure to tell Nancy or your great legislative advocate, Steve Melito, and make sure they get their names to me so that if I don't get a form immediately, I can go to that member and say, hey, you told the advocates that you would sign on this bill. I want to fill it out. I have the form right here. Fill it out and I'll go put it in. But it really does make a difference you're here today. There are a lot of professions that are here to try and get licensure for their professions, and all of them have a rationale for doing so. So when it comes to what bills are going to pass, potentially, and what bills are not, it's going to be the folks that made their trip to Albany, woke up very early in the morning. I know you have to wake up very early in the morning to get here from wherever you are, and you made the trip, you came here to advocate, and this year, probably more than any other year I've been in office, the squeaky wheel is going to be the one that gets the grease, because there isn't as much grease to go around in Albany as there used to be, with a $9.2 billion deficit. So, again, thank you for being here. Wear your T-shirts with pride. Advocate for the great work that you've done. And what we're talking about is the safety of the 1 million New Yorkers with vision difficulties. You want to make sure that they get the care they deserve, and I'm happy to join you in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you.